Welcome everyone to the Best Workplaces for Commuters webinar. We're so glad to have you today. Today we will be talking about building sustainable commuter programs with insights from Fairfax County. And we are so pleased to have Marcus Moore from Fairfax County DOT, as well as three other great speakers from that area. And you're going to learn more about them and what they're doing. So let's go ahead and get started. We're so glad that you're here. My name is Christina Epps. I am the program coordinator for Best Workplaces for Commuters at the University of South Florida Center for Urban Transportation Research. And so I'll be telling you a little bit more about BWC today, introducing our speakers, and then we will start directly with our program. So we wanted to let you know that we love questions and we'd love for you to post them in the Q&A box as we're going through the webinar, and we'll address those at the end of the webinar today. So we'd love a lively discussion. This will be more of a panelist discussion, and so we'll get lots of good conversation going. So please feel free to add your questions to the Q&A box, and please go ahead and put the name of the person you would like to answer that question if that's the case. So about Best Workplaces for Commuters, we hit a new record in 2024 with our national list, and we have 762 members for this year, hitting 1.7 million commuters who were impacted. We do that through the different employers, best sites, universities and college, and always so thankful to have our partners who are helping us to engage with different employers and organizations in their area. And to apply to be a BWC member is easy. All you need to do is go online. To fill out that application, you just check the join button and fill out that application online and select all the different commuter benefits that you offer for your organization. And we will be accepting applications through November 30th of this year for the 2025 list. And we do announce that list online and in a national press release. And we have lots of different things to for your benefit as a BWC member. It's more than just a national press release. You also receive a commuter benefits guide, which is a user-friendly overview on how to take advantage of the transportation tax benefits currently available in our tax code, as well as different training programs that we have, including the Commuter Choice Certificate Program, which is a professional certificate program that provides the most comprehensive training program for transportation professionals. We have an online member portal. You can access resources, download your member certificate, and correspond with other members. So we'd love for you to fill out your application. Remember, it's due by November 30th of 2024 to get on the 2025 list. Today, our speakers are Tim Kelly, Chip Goyette, Susan Boren, and Marcus Moore is our moderator. So let me tell you a little bit more about each one. Tim Kelly is the VP of Operational Excellence from the People Services team at Groundswell. And he'll discuss the methods for tracking and calculating carbon reduction emissions. He'll also outline the company's transportation demand management priorities, which feature a flexible remote work program, and a monthly Lunch and Learn series focused on alternative commuting options. Chip Goyette is the Director of Sustainability at Inova Health System and oversees the system-wide implementation of a comprehensive set of sustainable practices at hospitals and facilities across Northern Virginia. In the 8 years that Chip has been in this position, he has overseen the elimination of styrofoam and plastic straws in all hospital cafeterias. He collaborated with a multi-stakeholder team to launch Inova's food composting initiative in hospital kitchens, and he has worked extensively on expanding Inova's sustainable food offerings, as well as alternative transportation options. And Susan Boren is the Senior Vice President of Real Estate at Maximus. She will discuss the factors that influence the company's decision to establish their headquarters in Fairfax County with a focus on transit access. The new headquarters features state-of-the-art technology, community spaces, and workplace settings designed to foster collaboration, productivity, and employee well-being, ensuring that all employees have equal access to success, whether they are working remotely, in a hybrid model, or on site. And today, our moderator will be Marcus Moore. Marcus is, okay, I don't have Marcus's. So Marcus, could you please tell us more about yourself? Oh, sure. I found you. I found you, Marcus. Marcus Moore is the Transportation Demand Management Liaison and Program Manager for Fairfax County Commuter Services. And today he will moderate this engaging session that includes 3 of their partner programs.
Thank you, Christine. And first off, I'd like to thank all of you that have, taken the time to join us today to hear about these exciting programs. Just a little back history for those of you that are fairly new to this program. Fairfax County Commuter Services has partnered with the Center for Urban Transportation Research down in South Florida, and in particular, Christine and her team, to recognize different employers that have implemented, and you'll hear this term a number of times, TDM, which stands for Transportation Demand Management Strategies, which range from teleworking, commuter subsidies, carpooling, van pooling. So a number of different strategies fall under that TDM umbrella. So back in 2010, the Fairfax County Commuter Services team, we wanted to come up with a way to recognize Fairfax County employers that are doing pretty much anything they could to identify different strategies that fit the needs at their location to ultimately help with congestion in the area, to lower the use of single occupancy vehicle trips. So we're trying to get as many individuals into these modes, which ultimately at the end of the game, it takes as many cars off the road and eliminates some of the traffic that we see here in Fairfax County. So we're excited to have these 3 representatives here today to talk about their individual strategies and why they view these programs as something that's very important for the employers that they work for, and just kind of bring you guys into the understanding of how those programs have been beneficial for them, and then the partnership that we have with them as a organization that promotes these strategies in the area. So I'll kind of go into the dialogue now to kind of speak to these different employers and kind of have them share their insight with you all. And towards the end, we'll come into a place where you guys can share any questions as has been mentioned, and then we'll kind of move with it from that point to kind of get your insight and any feedback that you may have and make sure that your questions are answered as well. So first off, to kind of start off, again, I told you we've partnered with some of these organizations, some of these folks that we've known for years on, and we've had the opportunity to build a strong relationship with these employers over a great bit of time. So we are excited to have them kind of share what they have found in that partnership. So in particular, we're going to start with the Q&A portion. So in particular, Fairfax, we're just very excited that each of these organizations are very unique and impact employers in different ways. And I'm going to address this to the actual employers here. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization and describe why commuter options are so important to your work culture? So we're going to start off with Chip from Inova.
Great. Thanks, Marcus. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for spending a portion of your day with us. This is really a great question, right? As each of our organizations are unique, as are all of yours, of course, and hopefully the experiences we're going to discuss today can provide some benefit no matter where you are in your commuter programming journey. So a little bit about Inova. We're a nonprofit healthcare provider located in Northern Virginia. We offer a comprehensive set of healthcare services with a goal of improving outcomes that allow individuals to live their best life. We are, of course, a 24/7 operation with our different hospitals, emergency rooms, and other specialty centers. We serve close to 2 million patients a year from throughout the region, and we have approximately 24,000 team members across our sites within Northern Virginia. And this slide you see here, it really is just a snapshot of some of the services we provide, along with our annual community health investments that focused on the neediest in our communities. You also see a number of recognitions that really reflect our commitment to quality. You'll see a number of awards here that you can see from US News and Leapfrog and so forth. And we're really proud, though, of our recognition as it relates to our team members, both the being a great place to work and, of course, the recognitions we've received from Best Workplace for Commuters. So next slide, please. All right, I'll also point out, that we're growing, right? So we have 3 new facilities scheduled to open in the next couple of years. The first one on the left is our brand new healthplex that will be opening anytime now, probably within the next month or so. And then we have 2 very large new hospitals that are being sited, one in Fairfax County, the Inova Franconia Springfield Hospital, and then Inova Alexandria Hospital, which is located in the city of Alexandria. Again, all located within the Northern Virginia region. And what's interesting is since I've been with Inova, we've probably grown on average of about 1,000 new employees a year. And, with the opening of these new hospitals, that growth isn't expected to abate anytime soon, right? So considering this, we also live in a region that has an unemployment rate of around 3%. We know that we need to differentiate ourselves from other large employers to try to attract and retain talent. Our benefits offerings are certainly one way to do that through our human resources, but our commuter benefits program is a vital piece, I would say, to the entire benefits puzzle as commuting not only becomes more stressful in the Northern Virginia region with our traffic, but it's also much more expensive than it used to be, for sure. Now, granted, growth and a tight labor pool may not be totally unique to ours or other organizations, but what may be unique to healthcare is the need to attract team members that just have a very wide range of skills and expertise, and frankly, a lot of them. So at our healthcare facilities, obviously, we have clinicians. That includes our doctors, nurses, therapists, technicians, pharmacists, bedside workers, and more that treat our patients on a daily basis. We have facility staff such as engineers, food services, security, environmental services, and more that keep our facilities safe, clean, and running efficiently. And then finally, we have the administrative staff that focus on the billing, finance, procurement, HR, and so forth. So again, it's a very diverse group of employees. And as I said earlier, we need not just a few, but typically somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 employees to staff one of our hospitals, if not more, if it's a very large hospital. And that can be challenging in the resource-constrained area with very high housing costs, which is something we're experiencing here in Northern Virginia. So we're actually, based on that, because of that, the housing costs and just the desire to even live a little further, say, maybe from urban areas, we're seeing more and more employees living much further away from our care sites. And they faced a host of commuting challenges, including cost, time to commute, et cetera. Other team members that live closer may have a separate set of challenges unique to them. But based on all of this, we've decided to offer a very comprehensive set of commuting options that range from public bus stops and actual bus stations at some of our hospitals. We've got commuter, metro, and campus shuttles at our flagship hospital, the Fairfax Hospital. We've got preferred carpool, van pool, bike racks, $300 allowance for employees to use on a variety of options, and some things kind of unique to us, or may not be unique, as we've got services on site such as daycare, cafeterias, banking, and even dry cleaning. And then I'll also say that we're working on new technology options for appointments, remote patient monitoring, language translation, and more, so that we could reduce the number of team members needed actually on site at our hospitals. And then, of course, again, this might sound a little opposite of what might be happening in healthcare, but we've actually now have telework expanded to clinical team members. And this last benefit really expanded during COVID and continues today as leaders understand that a large amount of team members can do their work productively from anywhere. And with some clinicians, particularly managers, they have a number of administrative tasks to complete throughout the work week. And so one day a week to telework can allow them to complete those tasks very efficiently and without distractions of being actually in a hospital. And of course, it's also a huge benefit for their well-being, particularly if they have to deal with the traffic here in Northern Virginia. And frankly, the well-being of our team members is what this is all about for Inova. As obviously the happy, healthy team members, they provide the best care to our patients, which is of course core to our mission here at Inova. So to conclude my section, I would say a comprehensive set of commuter benefits is critical to team member well-being in a healthcare setting. And really my hope is to continue to expand on our offerings moving forward, as again, it allows us to perhaps differentiate ourselves from other employers, particularly healthcare. So I'll pass it on to you, Marcus.
All right, thank you, Tim. And just to kind of tag on to what Chip has shared. Chip is Inova has been one of our inaugural awardees back when we first kicked this program off in 2010. So we've had a very long partnership with Tim and his team. So next, how about we have Tim kind of share a little bit of information about Groundswell.
Thanks, Marcus. And hey, thanks, Christine from BWC as well. And thanks everybody for spending the afternoon with us. So Groundswell, we're a highly specialized IT system integrator. We're focused on bringing modern ERP and low-code solutions to the government. And we're going after the really complex stuff. We're going after the stuff that federal agencies absolutely need help doing. We integrate things like cutting edge technologies and talent and intellectual property to help the government to actually get the services they need and to meet their objectives. Now, we're a newly formed company. We've only been a company for the last 2.5 years, but we were purpose-built. And we were purpose-built using parts of other companies, but doing it for the new era, the next generation of technology that's so urgently needed. In our government, we see technologies aging, infrastructure is aging, and the government needs that sort of support from us. So when our company was created, we were crafted in a way that let us be agile. And let's go to the next slide, please. Let us be agile and adapted to those demands. And those demands can either be technology demands or mission demands. Today, we're focused on these technologies, SAP, Appian, Workday, and UiPath. And so with these technologies, we're able to solve some of the most complex problems for agencies like the DEA, DOT, FAA, FDA, DOL, DOD, you keep naming it. And so we're in many federal agencies. And our driving force is to take their mission critical challenges in those organizations and not just solve them the easy way. We want to solve them in the right way. We want to use these modern platforms and we want to use it with specialized talent. Now, one of the ways that we could do that is through not only our product, but also our people. So we have fostered this real culture of flexibility, and it's designed to meet the needs of both the employees and our customers. Now, today, 87% of my workforce teleworks. It's a huge amount of people that are teleworking. And of that 87%, more than half of those are located in the DMV. So we've come up with the idea of remote first. So we have a remote first approach that, along with other flexible arrangements, allows us to attract and retain the talent that help us meet our mission. Our facility, we're a world-class facility. We're right down the block from the metro, which is one of the key factors we use when choosing this. And we have a whole bunch of commuter-friendly features here, including pre-tax benefits, free electric car charging, lockers and showers and bike racks for those that want to bike in, and even access to scooters and bikes right over at the metro. In a post-COVID world, if we can call it that, we really want to embrace that flexible work schedule and flexibility in where people work and how people work. We want to make sure we have that healthy balance of life without compromising on our performance or the outcomes for our customers. This adaptability really has reflected our commitment to the individual and the customers we work for. We want to ensure that everything we do is modern, efficient, and supportive. So I hope that answers the question, Marcus.
Absolutely, and thank you for sharing, Tim. So next we're going to share a little bit from Maximus. So Susan, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of information about Maximus, thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Marcus, and thank you to all of you who are joining us today. At Maximus, our mission is moving people forward, and it celebrates the roles of our employees as innovators and problem solvers. It reflects our employees to do something meaningful to help others succeed. We know our employees are essential to the work that we do for our clients, and we are committed to providing our employees with an engaging and supportive work environment, as well as meaningful careers. Employees report that leadership takes action to build a diverse and inclusive work environment, and the company provides sufficient flexibility and support to help balance the demands of our work and our personal lives. One of the most important ways we do this is through our remote and hybrid and on-site work policies, because we believe that our personal lives are equally as important as our professional lives. The hybrid environment gives employees the flexibility to use their lunch breaks to run to doctor's appointments or have lunch with family. And this flexibility, we find, directly feeds into the employee's happiness. It encourages a healthy work-life balance, and it fosters a strong employee-employer relationship. Furthermore, we believe we have a competitive advantage in the employment market with our workplace policies, because we've seen a willingness for as we remain hybrid, to improve our time to hire, and also positive impacts on the retention of our current workforce. I think we have a little video to highlight this, and let's take a look.
Maximus has called Fairfax County home for nearly 50 years. In 2022, we relocated from our previous headquarters in Reston and Federal Annex in Falls Church to a LEED Gold certified building in Tyson's Corner. A key consideration for this highly accessible location are the more than 200 individuals commuting from Virginia, DC, and Maryland. Located 2 blocks from the Tyson's Corner metro station, employees can take advantage of free parking, including EV charging stations, bike racks, and shuttle services provided by our building. With many options for dining, shopping, services, and child and pet care, it was important to our leadership that the new headquarters support the health and well-being of our employees, as well as their careers. We also focused on bringing the outdoors inside. As a result, this office space features a welcoming reception area with greenery, warm woods, and glass, communal areas for meetings, eating, collaborating, and impromptu chats, with a variety of options like adjustable furniture for standing and sitting, privacy rooms, and more. The inviting office design draws employees in for all their work needs, ranging from large town hall meetings to private offices in numerous meeting and conference rooms. We also host special events like community service activities and holiday parties where employees can bring their families. We offer free coffee, tea, and healthy snacks throughout the 5 floors we occupy in the building, where we also have access to fitness facilities, including showers and locker rooms. Digital displays located on every floor show real-time, regular traffic and weather updates to help employees plan their commutes. Furthermore, hybrid employers like Maximus have a competitive advantage in the employment market, which has improved both our time to hire and retention of our existing workforce. Thanks for visiting.
All right. And thank you. Excellent video, Susan. And one of the things that I want to add is that for those of you that are joining us today, the reoccurring theme that we are kind of all sharing, that you'll notice from each of these employers, is the flexibility that's allowed with these strategies, and that there's no one size fit all way about doing it. Everything is kind of structured to the needs of the employer. And when our team comes out and work with these different partners, we try to identify what those needs are and provide, strategies that best suit, their needs. And we kind of function out how to best, execute those strategies. So what we'll do now is kind of get a little bit more feedback on different things and that have been beneficial within each of these locations. So let's see. Let's start. So Susan, with everything that you just recently shared, I know that you had a large scale decision to make in choosing your new headquarters location just a few years ago. Can you describe like pretty much how your organization specifically chose your office location and the design of the office to support the hybrid remote and work policies at Maximus?
Sure. Yes. Thanks, Marcus. So with an employee-centric approach, we started the process by creating a scattergram, which we mapped out where our several hundred employees currently lived, and so therefore where they would be commuting from. The results showed Tyson's to be the center peg. Well, with that vibrant community and amenity-rich area and several metro stops within, that's where the fun began. Another factor important to our company is environmental, social, and corporate governance, known as ESG, because it's embedded in our mission, truly. We're committed to strengthening our communities, improving the lives of those we serve, and reducing impact on the environment. So the ESG commitment was an important piece of our decision to place our corporate headquarters in Fairfax County. And it's now been a little over 2 years since we moved our HQ to a LEED Gold certified building in Tyson's, reducing our office footprint by 80,000 square feet from our previous 2 locations into this one. Tyson's, as I mentioned, provides an area rich with amenities that appeal to our employees when they come into the office. The neighborhood offers a vibrant community with numerous options for dining and for shopping and public transportation, and is conveniently located for daily errands for our employees, for childcare, for pet care. And we also designed our headquarters to make it feel inviting. Our employees come into the office for needs ranging from town hall meetings to private work offices or open workspaces. We also have collaborative high top teaming tables, conversation nooks, lounge seating, communal dining tables, and just about any size meeting and conference rooms. These are all the things our employees need to be successful. And it was also important to leadership that each step of designing and planning our new HQ considered the health and the well-being of employees. One example was our idea of bringing the outdoors inside, such as we built an open stairwell between the 12th and the 14th floors, providing full access and inclusivity for all employees to our executives. We have a welcoming reception area, warm with greenery, woods, and transparent glass, and communal areas for meetings, for eating, for collaboration, impromptu chats. We had plenty of happy hours there, and also ping pong. So employees report how positive the office makes them feel, and that really speaks to us.
Excellent, excellent. Chip, I know in regards to Inova, I know you guys operate a unique commuter shuttle program out of one of your largest hospital sites, Inova Fairfax. Can you talk about the program, including how and when it got started and the status of that initiative?
Sure. Thanks, Marcus. So our commuter shuttle program, this is just a beloved program of team members and employees, as you all can imagine. I mean, it brings a variety of teammates from some of those different trades that I mentioned earlier, a fairly long distance from our largest hospital. So this was done initially in response. So back in 2010, we our transportation demand management program kicked off, right? It was in response to some requirements of redeveloping Fairfax Hospital and addressing obviously congestion that would increase due to that expansion. And so after about a year of operating the program, it looked like we needed really to do more, right? More to not only meet the requirements of our TDM program, but also, right, to offer more to our team members. So in 2011, staff here worked with Fairfax DOT, and they conducted a density analysis to really determine where clusters of our employees lived. And frankly, found a good amount of team members living both along this I-95 and I-66 corridor. And basically, those are the major north-south and east-west corridors that lead up to Northern Virginia, or lead into Northern Virginia. So based on that, we saw again the density of employees and team members in those areas, and we knew there was interest because team members had definitely reached out to us, and we did a survey to see what kind of interest was there. And so we put a justification together to fund a route along each corridor with stops at a few locations along that route, typically at park and rides along that route. So lo and behold, the program was funded, and later that year, the commuter shuttles launched. And these shuttles, again, were in response to both our requirements. We had already had actually shuttles in place going to our metro station, along with an on-campus shuttle that moved across the large campus to move team members to different spots throughout the campus. So if you push forward really a few years or a number of years, the shuttles really operated at capacity, I would say, from launch until about 2017, which is really the time when sustainability stepped in and became the administrator for the required TDM programs at our hospitals that are located in Fairfax. That was done just because, we felt that sustainability had the experience and we had the team that could really begin to push alternative transportation at all of our sites, not just the ones in Fairfax. So as my team got more involved, we started to receive additional requests for stops and routes. And unfortunately, at that time, we were unable to expand anything just due to a number of issues going on. And then unfortunately, if you fast forward to 2020, the pandemic hit and we were required to pause the shuttles due to social distancing requirements and other health and safety concerns. Of course, we wanted our team members to be safe. So having 20 to 30 team members on a bus just didn't really work at that time. And unfortunately, it really impacted a number of team members, as anecdotally, we heard that a number of folks that took that bus, they really relied on it, right? So we're talking about our environmental services workers, our food services workers, and others that this program really benefited. And so based on that, we got together kind of with a group of team members in 2021, and also during that time, the vaccines had come out, and so there was plenty of access. I think it was required for our health system, and so we decided that it was about, that was a good time, right? The safety aspect was covered, which again was our primary concern, the safety of our team members. So it took a little while, but through a concerted effort, we worked with HR, even emergency management became involved to make it more of a team member resilience initiative, sustainability, and again, those vocal team members. And we were able to push the organization to restart the service in the fall of 2022. And the good news is that, with 2023 being really the first full year of ridership since the program resumed, there were a little less than 13,000 unique passenger trips taken on the two shuttles. And that actually exceeds our last full year of operation prior to the pandemic. So in 2019, we were just under the 13,000 at about 12,400 passenger trips. So the program is it's super popular. We're now receiving even more requests from folks across the organization that want to participate along with other sites. And really, again, our hope is to work with another cross-functional group to expand the shuttle service in 2025. And one last quick story, our CEO recently commented to me that an employee approached him and thanked him for offering the commuter shuttle service that allows that individual basically a break from driving and even some financial savings on her daily commute. So it's really nice when you hear those stories, particularly when they go right to the CEO, to let them know the impact these programs are having. And, there, of course, are the environmental benefits that we have, but really what we're focused on here at Inova is the team member well-being piece, right? As that seems to resonate the most with leadership. And so, even though, again, we will be calculating the impacts from a greenhouse gas standpoint, we don't, again, put that front and center. So it is just a picture of the shuttle, with some very happy team members, some of which have, taken that shuttle, not only beginning back in 2011 and 2012, but even to today. So it's a very successful program.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Tim, in particular, speaking of, Groundswell recently completed a CO2 reduction study. Can you share a little bit about your findings with that?
Yeah, Marcus, let me elaborate on that a little bit. So before I do that, let me go back and let me talk about TRIP. So our employee program has been institutionalized at Groundswell through a program called Transit Telework Resources and Impactful Practices, right? So this is what helps ensure that our employees, regardless of location, they have access to the resources that promote sustainability, work-life balance, and the meaningful connections, not only with their customers, but also colleagues in the company. I'm a computer scientist, and I'm a guy that loves metrics that help to tell a story. We have a partnership with George Mason University. So George Mason University has a program called the LIFE program. This program provides students who are neurodivergent opportunities to have meaningful work in a real world setting. So we sponsor interns that come from that program. One of the interns that we had last semester, his name was Muhammad. What we had Muhammad do was literally to systematically develop the metrics that drove this. And it took over a month for him to figure this out. What he did was he actually looked at the commute patterns for every single employee in the DMV. He calculated travel times based on the time they arrive in the office, routes, commonalities, and data in there. And he also looked at the impacts in time based on traffic and congestion based on when people were coming and going. These metrics are tracked for the days that the employees didn't come into the office. So what we wanted to see was what was the result of that? Having access to the environmental, this environmental data allowed us to really have actionable insights so we could continue on our programs. The calculations gave us great data. It was quantitative in nature, and it did two things. It was both the environmental side of the house and quality of life side of the house. We analyzed patterns and times and traffic pollution for our DMV employees, and the two things came out of it. One, the environmental impact. The data you see on the screen is quite accurate. This allows us to demonstrate how we've eliminated and reduced carbon emission just by having our remote first policies on there. And again, by calculating the distance, the time, and all the metadata behind there, we were able to see quantitatively how much of a carbon footprint did we save. These numbers even surprised me. When I saw these, I doubted the numbers. And I said, there's no way. And then I started digging into the numbers and I said, my goodness, this is actually accurate. How do we get better? And what's the next step? Because when I saw progress like this, I knew we could be even better. The other thing, and probably more for the employees, is their quality of life improved, right? When you look at the metrics on there, this is a significant amount of time and money. So time, they're not in the car, and money, all the wear and tear on your car, especially in the DMV, we're kind of brutal on our cars around here. The work that Mohammed did and the analysis, he showed, by avoiding all those long traffic commutes, right, and all the commutes that we didn't have to make, that improved the employees' work-life balance. And as a direct result, you have happier people, we attract better people, and we sustain the people within the company. This is a data-backed approach that we have, and having this data helps me to justify the programs we support, and our employees just love that we have these for them. the final thing I want to point out is this starts day one. This is not a, hey, let's just start a program. This is a day one. When employees join our company, we bring them into the mix. And when we bring them into the mix, they understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're measuring it, and how they can help. So long answer to a short question. I hope that answered it, Marcus.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I want you all to think about that are joining us today, these are the things that we talk about when we have these initial conversations with our contacts. When it comes to talking to leadership, obviously there's certain language and certain things that we discuss that tickles the ear. And I know a lot of the work that goes into creating your benefits package, we tend to like to share that these programs can be low to almost in some cases zero cost implemented programs that can benefit you all when it comes to recruitment and retention. So when you're thinking about how can we bring on some of the best people that do these jobs that we have at our organization, and there's an opportunity to compare to maybe a competing organization or just in general, just kind of pushing your package out. These are things that the workforce is looking for. Is there a scenario that I can have the opportunity to have that work-life balance and flexibility to telework, or have transit subsidies that's going to help me get to work a little bit easier? Or is the facility located in an ideal location where I can bike in or ride the bus or ride the train? So these are the type of things that we talk about when we partner with these different organizations, just to get them to kind of get the ball rolling and thinking about those things, because I know a lot of that isn't necessarily at the front of mind. We're talking about medical and dental. Those are the things that obviously are primary when you think about your benefits packages. But we like to share how important that these programs can be, specifically in Fairfax and in the DMV region. Is very important just due to the amount of traffic that we see. But I'm sure for those of you that are have joined us today from other states, that potentially you may run into some of the same scenarios. So with that, we are at the Q&A portion of our session here. So I'm going to take the opportunity to look through the chat. For those of you that may want to add questions now, feel free to add any questions that you have for myself or for any of our speakers here today. So let me look through the chat and see if I can identify. I think the first one I have here is for Chip, and we're asking, can you please explain your $300 allowance per employee?
Sure. Yeah, I probably should have been a little bit more specific. It is a pre-tax, up to $300 per month that employees can set aside for public transportation. So it's a pre-tax allowance. So.
Okay. And we have a question for Tim. It says, how do you incorporate sustainability into daily operations at Groundswells, such as energy efficiency, waste reduction, or sustainable procurement? What effect does this have on your employees' day-to-day experience?
Yeah, I mean, companies can make a lot of trash, be it, printer paper or be it, the carbon your car puts out. The simple things that we could do beside recycling is the materials that we bring in-house. We ensure that everything that we bring in-house is sustainable. Our plates are sustainable. They are compostable. Our spoons and our forks, those are also compostable. So that's a program, because Fairfax County offers composting, that we can take advantage of. Is it the cheapest? Nope. But is it the right thing to do? Absolutely. The one thing I learned about compostable spoons is you don't want to put them into hot water necessarily.
Let's see, we have one for Susan. It says, your space is very beautiful. Would you be willing to do a tour of your office?
Well, thank you for that question. Absolutely. We love doing tours. So if you want to bring, your company, people from your company, organizations, associations, absolutely. And I'll give you a secret too. On Tuesdays, we cater lunch for our employees. Big, huge spread. So try to make it on a Tuesday. We'll get you in.
Absolutely. And I think we have Tim again. So what is feedback that you've received from your employees, and have you seen any trends with new employees in terms of commuting?
So I think it's less of a, do they appreciate that we do? It's that they expect that we do. I think that employees expect these days that companies are going to be ethical when it comes to sourcing materials and that we're taking care of the environment. I think by demonstrating that we actually do it helps us to attract people. And I apologize, I didn't hear the second part of that, Marcus.
I'm sorry. The second part was, have you seen any recent trends from new employees that have
Yeah, actually kind of interesting. So one of the things we do is before they even start with the company, we get them information on our commuting program. So when people start out, they're typically here for at least the start of their career here. This summer we had like 30 new people start up. And of those 30 people, more than half of those people are using Metro as a direct result of us campaigning with them, saying, you know, the Metro is literally like right there, right? And you don't have to drive your car here. And we also, through Fairfax County, take advantage of the county's programs where they provide us with a $50 card to get them started. And with that $50, they start the commute, and it's a great incentive for them to start. And once they're on it, they realize I don't have to drive in this area, which is nightmarish. So it's been a great trend to see. More than half, I'll take that.
Absolutely. Let me see. We have one more for Tim, and then there's two more for myself that I'll hold to the end. So, Chip, what has your relationship been like working with Fairfax County as a BWC?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I mean, it's been fantastic, right? There are things that Fairfax County can do, particularly your Department of Transportation. You know, I mentioned the density analysis that was done, you know, with basically plotting where our team members live. That's something we don't have the expertise to do that here at Inova. In addition to that, you know, you've got wonderful staff that come out to our Earth Day events, our Bike to Work Day events, our commuter tables that we do at the different hospitals located in Fairfax County. And you all have the kind of latest and greatest information about what is going on in the region, right? What opportunities there are maybe for carpooling or van pooling and so forth, that again, you know, we might not be right on the pulse of. And so again, I would just say the relationship's been invaluable, and you know, hopefully others on this call have that type of relationship with their local DOT or even state DOT, depending on who it is they work with, because it's really helps us as an organization. You know, transportation is part of our sustainability program, and I've got 7 other initiatives that we work on beyond alternative transportation. And so any help we can get obviously is very appreciated. So.
Absolutely. Thank you. So as it looks like we only have 2 more questions currently at this point, which are both for me. So I'll kind of go into these. So the first question is we're being asked, does Fairfax County or Virginia have any laws that mandate or require employees to implement these TDM programs? And my answer to that is there's no mandates that are currently in place. A lot of what we do, there's a big sales component to pretty much kind of changing the mindset of commuters, as well as those that employ those commuters in Fairfax County. I think just in general, the way Fairfax is structured, there, you know, it covers, you know, quite a bit of area in the Virginia region. So I think there is a large group of individuals that have kind of grown accustomed to driving. And we do understand that those are scenarios that we have to kind of share with individuals why they should look at some of these strategies. So for those folks that are in scenarios where they can't take alternative modes, we do understand that those folks have to drive their cars, and we don't really focus the energy there. We try to focus in those areas where our services are needed. And without those mandates, it makes our job a little bit more challenging because we have to kind of come in and kind of, you know, kind of give that benefit. We have to find out from each individual conversation what triggers that individual to think differently. So, you know, we do that on a regular basis, just kind of get the word out about it, spreading the different education on how these strategies can be beneficial, and then all the way down to the nuts and bolts of a specific individual, of pretty much identifying what their specific commute is. So, you know, we're helping people figure out how to get from point A to point B, and identifying which strategies best work for them. So it would be nice if we did have the opportunity to have mandates that would make our job so much easier, but unfortunately that's not the case. So and then the second question we have here for myself is, what is the process like to become a best workplace for commuter in Fairfax County? And how would I know if we qualify? So the great part about that is a lot of that work we do for you all. We have an excellent team of outreach staff that works within Fairfax County that will come out and do an assessment on your site. A lot of times we again, we're out doing prospecting and trying to meet a lot of these folks out here in Fairfax County and meet these businesses and see what, those needs may be. But a lot of times we'll go to a site, and during our evaluation process, we'll find out that they already have a number of different TDM processes, strategies in place. So based on that calculation, we compare those to the application that the BWC team down in South Florida has created, and we may already establish that team has met the criteria to be recognized as a BWC awardee. One thing about our promotion is, just as a little courtesy, we pay for membership for a 2-year time period, as long as the employer decides to participate on a back-to-back year. Now, that membership will get you a number of different benefits. So you can take advantage of different peer-to-peer collaboration. There's different strategies that are promoted in maybe other states that are shared with other members that may be beneficial to your employer. There's different networking opportunities. There's different member-specific awards and events that take place. So these are different things that you can benefit for as an employer to potentially build on your strategies and just to kind of build that partnership and family environment that the BWC team offers. And in addition to that, like I said, we'll cover your membership for those that 2-year period. As far as our promotion itself, again, we found value in that program because it allowed us to solely focus on Fairfax County. So Qatar, down in the Center for Urban Transportation Research down in Florida, they have the national component of it. So what we do is every year we bring all of our awardees before our Fairfax County Board of Supervisors to kind of give them a pat on the back for the things that they've done. And then secondarily to that, we coordinate with Qatar to bring those same individuals in front of the national stage. So we typically have had, from the time that we kicked the program off in 2010 with our partnership, we've had about 10 or so average awardees per year. And I think this year, with our 14th year, we're coming up on, I think, 150 awardees. So we're really excited and proud about the efforts that we put into it. And then most importantly, without the buy-in and the implementation at these employer sites within Fairfax County, our program would not be what it is. So we do a great deal of the work and the heavy lifting of helping you guys to better understand, all the way down to walking you through the application process. Like we'll legitimately sit there with you in person or virtually and walk you through the application to kind of help you make sure that you are checking those boxes off and giving yourself the full credit for the programs that you have established to give you the full courtesy of the award. And for those of you that are kind of in the early stages of implementing TDM programs, we'll kind of build that bond over that period of time, to where maybe you start off in the early stages of implementing the strategy, and as you build, at a certain point, you'll become eligible for that award. So it's not a 1-year process necessarily, but it can be in a lot of cases. So that's what we do on a day-to-day, and we're very excited to be able to help in any way we can possibly. So at this point, I don't see any more specific questions in the chat. So to kind of wrap things up, I'll just kind of say, our services, and we can go to the next slide. I think it is, Christine, where we have our contact information, if I think it is, unless there's a slide that I'm not thinking about. Perfect. So again, we would like to thank our guest speakers here today, Tim, Chip, Susan, for just sharing their experiences and, just all in all being great representatives of the BWC Awards program. We've always enjoyed, everything that you guys do on a personal level. We know, obviously, how great you guys are. So I'm happy to have had you guys join us today so we can share that with the public. For those of you that have joined us today, we hope that you have found some value in this and learned a little bit more about what we do here with BWC. We have the contact information here for anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about any of these organizations. You can reach out to these folks directly with any specific questions that you may have at a later date. And for those of you that are, excited about hearing this and may have interest in finding out if your specific location is either eligible for this award, or how we can partner with you in Fairfax County to kind of help you implement these strategies and get to the point where you can be here joining us in a future date to recognize your organization, my contact is here as well. You can reach me via email, or you can call me at directly at our Fairfax County Commuter Services line at 703-877-5900. And we would be very excited to help you. And with that, if there is any more feedback from the chat, I think we will have come to a conclusion of our webinar. Again, I want to thank you all for your attendance today. And we're very excited to have had the opportunity to present for you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.